Peter is gonna talk about how we can like do crazy stuff on the internet. It's like quirky, crazy stuff. Not so critical update.
So, ironically, I think this is actually a kind of related to an actual critical update. So there's a software package on the internet, and lots of these packages are owned by people, and they get very popular. And then other people use them, and they use them in their software packages. So you have this sort of list of dependencies. There's one called for each, which is a bit of sort of scaffolding code, which you can use in other stuff. And it was written by some guy and then kind of forgotten about. It's pretty complete. What happened was, and we talked about this before, the author's domain name expired and his email address became available by someone else who registered that domain and got the email address. They then had control of that software package. And it turns out that there's something like 2 million packages which ultimately depend on this original Salesforce package. So what's happened is that in this case, it's a good guy who was just saying, hey, look, I've got control of this piece of software, which is depended on by millions, literally millions of other things. And I could do dodgy stuff with it. He could then push out some bad code that would say, wipe your computer, or in fact, with ransomware or something. And then potentially 2 million packages, which were used by hundreds of millions of people, would be infected.
When this was an NPM package, so this would have also been deployed to infrastructure.
Yeah. The potential for this is unbelievable. Okay, so the reason I wanted to talk about this, because the first thing that popped into my head was, how many other packages are vulnerable? I want to go out and get a list of the authors of every single NPM package. NPM is a development framework, by the way. Hi, Dad. Actually, it's a bit more complicated than that. Well, let's pretend it is for now. So I want to go and get a list of all the authors. Yes, misleading in the right direction, though. So, in a good way. It's like teachers at school that told you that atoms are just very small things. They've got much more complicated than that. But anyway.
Are they not very small things?
They're not just very small things.
What are they, Peter?
They're not so scientific update.
They've got charges and things, and they get attracted, and they don't. Atoms. Yeah, very small things.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
They go around each other.
In it.
Hello, Adam. How you doing? I'm an electron. Oh, hello, electron. I'm a positron.
So, Peter, who is it that you think you're mocking when you do that voice?
Big fan, fucking Dyke, man. Honestly, that accent.
That's funny stuff.
Anyway, where were we? NPM.
Do you offend yourself with that voice? Is that?
I find it offensive.
You find it offensive?
Yeah, guys. Like totally.
Okay.
I don't.
We were on Atoms. Go ahead.
We were on Atoms.
NPM. Compromise packages. People have the domains.
That's a fun thing to do. That's a fun thing to do, Peter. I think it would be really neat, and potentially could make you a really large amount of money if you were a bad person. Now, speaking of bad people, I feel like crime like this, it's really just an issue of where your moral compass points to. Like,
it's not crime, by the way.
Well, I think it is crime if you deploy like ransomware to 200 million instances or whatever the number was.
Yeah. Also, he's impersonating someone else. So
right. Also true. But no, is he though? Is he impersonating someone else?
So just to provide a little more clarity on what happened, the original developer. Sorry.
Was I not clear enough?
I wasn't listening. I don't know. If I don't say it, it's not important. The original developer had a GitHub account with a personal email address on his own domain. The domain expired. Somebody else saw that expired, bought it, recreated that same email address,
and did a password recovery.
using that email address to get into the GitHub account that controlled this repository. Is that in itself, is that part of it illegal? Do we think?
Well, no, I guess it really isn't even impersonation because the email isn't like a recycled Gmail account, right?
Oh,
like, it's not like, but really think about
John's
it.
a lawyer,
disappeared.
Peter. He's going to talk us through this.
I know everything.
Oh, but it's fluffy though.
Email,
it's fluffy.
The email vanished with the domain expiring.
You're fluffing right now, John.
When he renewed the domain, he recreated an email address that just happened to be the same email as the old guy, so that he could reset this GitHub account. Now, here, this this line right here, this is, I believe, a terms of service. What's the word? Violation from GitHub, because it's not his account. All right,
what I'm saying is that I'm saying it's fluffy, and that you're being fluffy, you're fluffing, and you are a fluffer. Is what I'm telling. What I'm saying, John, because
that
this
didn't
is a
clarify
issue.
Anything whatsoever.
I think what Peter's trying to say, without saying it, is that I'm a fucker.
Look up fluffer on Urban Dictionary. Anyway,
well, I've made.
Oh, that is how you meant it. Okay.
Yeah, entirely. Not that there's anything wrong, with that. It's a job. You work hard. Anyway, what I was saying was that what I mean. No, seriously, what I mean is that I think depends on how you define a digital identity, and is it like impersonating someone, and is it I don't know. I think it probably is a crime.
You don't want to know what a fluffer is.
You derailed John with the fluffer thing.
Oh my god! I didn't even mean to bring. I'm sorry. It's a kind of a.
You didn't mean to bring it up, which is why you repeated it like 10 times.
Peter, I guess it's kind of a compliment in a way.
I don't understand how it applies here, but
doesn't apply at all. And I never knew what it was up until today. Just now, actually, it's like I'm going skiing, but there's no snow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. I do not get that analogy, but yeah.
You don't get that analogy?
No.
Okay, that's totally fine.
We don't have to talk about this anymore. Genuinely, I'm sorry I said it. It was a bad.
Yes.
Said it and doubled down on it. Doubled and tripled down.
I just wanted him to get the joke, but it was terrible joke. I don't care if my jokes are any good, but now we're like dissecting it. I feel bad. I feel terrible for making it in the first place. I'm so sorry for anybody who's watching this and is offended. I mean, I genuinely don't have anything against anybody who is a fluffer. It's a perfectly legitimate job.
This is your job.
I don't know how legitimate it is. You're walking around us. Okay. Anyway,
no. Hey,
let's go back into business, Peter. Let's talk about finding all of these possibly expired domains of NPM package creators, and let's just see how much money we can make. I mean, let's just see how many lives we can save or whatever.
Yeah, I think quite a few. The sad thing is that if we did that, there would be a massive percentage of these people who wouldn't care and wouldn't pick up their
no, because it's abandoned. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's my commentary.